All right, what's going on, guys? TREV back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Q&A video answer segment type of video leading up to The Walking Dead Season 6. And this one we're going to be continuing our discussion first about the banner and some possibilities. Are we possibly going to see a Rick versus Morgan? Okay, so I'll put all the questions in the description below. Spoiler warning for anyone who hasn't seen up to the end of The Walking Dead Season 5 yet. So I was looking at some different sites and got a good question, a good question from Cameron Carter, one of the viewers of the channel. He's a great guy. He's one of the ones who actually did donate a little bit to the channel, pledge a little bit for the Patreon. Put the link in the description to that. You guys can donate, even $1 a month or whatever you want, anything, and it helps to go to support the channel. He's also building a site for the channel, deadreviews.com, which is a forum, which is really, really cool. So if you guys have a minute, you want to go ahead and check it out, just type it in the address bar at the top. You can create a new tab and type it in, deadreviews.com. We're building a forum, so it should be cool. I'm also going to link the forum in future videos, so we're going to be kind of, as we come up with discussion topics rather than just using the comments, I'm going to try to get the community into a full forum so that we can actually talk back and forth, have some posting going on, pictures, links, all that good stuff. So deadreviews.com. Check it out. So he brought up a really good point here, which I've also seen on a lot of websites for their interpretation of the banner, which I didn't see when I first saw it. I more saw it and I was like, gotta talk with you guys about it. Gotta get a video done about it. So here's what he said. He said, my interpretation of this banner is slightly different. The way they're standing, the Alexandrians, or I like to call them Alexandriites. People say that's not correct. Maybe, yeah, you're probably right. It's probably not. The Alexandrians and Gabriel, whom betrayed Rick's group, are standing behind Morgan as if he's their leader. Our main group of survivors are standing behind Rick, as of course we know he's their leader. It makes it seem as if Morgan and Rick are each on two sides against each other. For instance, Morgan believes that all life is precious. Maybe seeing Rick execute Pete has made him realize that Rick is turning into a monster and turning like people we called villains in the previous seasons. This would be a good little twist, though I'm probably wrong. So it's not just him that said this. I read a good number of sites where they interpreted the banner as like a versus thing, and I'll put the link to a few of them in the description below, and also a link to the banner so you guys can actually see what we're talking about. But in the banner, you have them kind of they're both standing, and you have kind of, Rick, he's kind of looking at Morgan, and Morgan's looking, like this, right? That way. But I do kind of understand what they mean, that it does seem like the Alexandrians are behind Morgan, and of course the survivors are obviously behind Rick. I didn't see it that way when I first looked at the banner, but now that I can kind of see it. And I can kind of see what he means by that and what a lot of these sites are talking about, which is that we may see kind of a divide because of the two different stances that the both of them take. Whereas with Morgan, you have him taking the stance that all life is precious, Daryl, and really feeling like they shouldn't be killing people at all, no matter what the set of circumstances. And then the other side, getting that more kind of that wild, harsh kind of feel that we get from our, of course, survivors that have been through some nasty shit on the road, for a really long time, from the hunters, termites, terminus, and governor, and all the other stuff they've seen that has formed them into being where they're at right now, which we totally see why. So I do think it is an interesting take on it that we could see possibly a clashing. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some kind of rubbing off because they do have both completely different viewpoints. But I never thought that it's true that the people of Alexandria probably would relate more closely to Morgan than they would to Rick. That said, we have seen that kind of versus thing, turmoil within the group before with Shane, of course, in The Walking Dead Season 2. So I don't know if they would want to kind of retread old ground, because that would kind of make it seem like, with Morgan, he's close to Rick. He's probably one of the closest people because he's one of the ones that he met right away in the zombie apocalypse. So he's somebody that Rick is going to share a really strong bond with. Maybe not like a best friend like he did with Shane, or how he feels about some of the others like Daryl being his brother now and that, or him calling him that. But still a really strong bond between the two because of what's happened to them both. And originally Morgan saving Rick's life, so to speak, seemingly anyway, or at least helping him kind of understand what path to go on to eventually find Carl and the others. I'm sure he still feels like he owes Morgan a lot. So it's going to be interesting. I don't think I'd like to see, any kind of fist come to cuffs type thing, and have Rick try, them try to kill each other. Anyway, I really don't like that idea. I don't like that idea. But I do like the idea of there being friction between, the two. And I never thought that the Alexandrians could possibly see Morgan as like a leader type deal. But we'll have to see what they do with it. There's a lot of possibilities, and that's the way a lot of people read the banner. I didn't read the banner that way, and I still kind of don't, because it's not like Morgan is looking back at Rick like it's a face-off, So that's kind of my thoughts on it. I don't think that's what we're seeing, but because, like I said, it could be retreading old ground, which is not good. Yeah, I don't think that's where they're going with it, but I would like to see some friction. I'm sure there's going to be some between the two, some kind of conflict with viewpoints there on how to handle people, what to do. Something we've kind of seen a little bit before with Dale, Randall, some of the earlier stuff. But in that situation, Shane was on the other side, Rick was on that side, and now it's flipped, right? So that's kind of interesting too. So hopefully we'll see more in the trailer. We'll get more of an idea of kind of how that's going to play out, or be able to make some better predictions, more concrete than just the picture. But I personally didn't read it that way when I first saw it, but I could be wrong. Let me know what you guys think. Write your comments below. Do you think we're going to see a Morgan versus Rick? I don't think so, but I think there will be some growing pains between the two as both their ideologies kind of clash and merge, so to speak, for the greater good of the entire group, as it's all one whole, basically. Cool. So there's my response to Cameron, also those websites, and for you guys, if you're interested about that, because there was a few people who brought that to me, so I wanted to kind of put that into the Q&A. Okay, next one's I'll do a few more. This one's from LetsTalkDead. He says, Trev, what do you like more, DBZ or Walking Dead? So that is a really, really tough question. Not really. Okay, I love DBZ with all my heart. It's been one of my favorite shows since I was a kid. But The Walking Dead has given me something to be as excited as a kid about, even though I'm like going to be middle-aged next year. The Walking Dead for me is it's my favorite show ever, my favorite comic book ever, and it's incredible, man. I mean, some people, I've actually seen some people in the comments that they like Game of Thrones, and other shows, don't really like The Walking Dead. I think it's overrated or stuff, and I'm like, I don't know. I think it's so amazing. So that's just me. But DBZ, we'll see what the new DBZ anime has for us in store in July. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see what it's got. And it is an amazing show in its own right. But Walking Dead is something that I look forward to that more than any other show I've ever seen, for sure. No question about it. Then next might be like, DBZ, Game of Thrones, that kind of stuff. Next one's from Storm Shadow. He always asks some great questions. He says, I have a couple questions about Heath. If he is the most seen character from the comics from Alexandria, okay, why, or of the Alexandrians, or rights, whatever, why do you think we didn't see him in Season 5, even if he didn't have any lines or focus? Well, they can only cast so many actors, actresses. Some of them might get left out, to the next season. And it's not a bad thing. It's just that, as the seasons go through, when you meet a group of a lot of characters, sometimes you'll cast certain actors or actresses, you'll kind of leave the others for later. Similar to what they did with Season 2 with Michonne, where we saw her, but we didn't have an actress cast, so they just showed her like the last clip, and then finally we got to actually fully, meet her in the next season as Denai Guerrero. So, yeah. So I think it's just the reality of having an actor or actress actually paid to play that part, where, in the TV series you have to actually do that. The comic books, you can just put in whatever you want. You get Charlie Adler to draw it and you're done, right? That's it. So I think that's all. Hey, Trev, I have another question that relates to both The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead. We learned from the title that Walking Dead wasn't technically about the zombies, but the survivors. Do you think that Fear the Walking Dead's title is based on zombies or the survivors? Should we be fearing the zombies or the survivors? Thanks for the entertainment, man. So this is a question that I have been asked before, so I'll go really quickly over this one for you, Storm Shadow. I talked about this before that I don't think. Now I can't read minds, obviously, and I can't read Kirkman's mind. But my interpretation was originally the title did refer to the zombies, and then as he started writing, he probably had this idea like, maybe it refers to the survivors, and then he kind of said, no, really it refers to them, and it's always referred to them. I don't know if that's true. I still call BS on that. I think when he thought of the idea, The Walking Dead, I don't think he meant it for the survivors. I think he meant it for the zombies. But that's true. It's commonly kind of one of those. I don't know if you want to call it like a secret thing that it doesn't point to that, it points to this. For the actual survivors, not the zombies, right? The title, The Walking Dead. Does it refer to zombies, or does it refer to the survivors as The Walking Dead? So with Fear the Walking Dead, that's a cool question. But again, the title is just based off the other one, and then they put the fear. And who are you to be afraid of? I think you'd be more afraid of survivors than zombies. They're more dangerous, I think, when they're hungry than survivors, for sure. Okay, a couple more. Next one's from Mudasa M. Hussein. He asked a lot of questions. Sean in brackets. Hey, Trev. Dude, what's your thoughts on the TV show Hannibal being canceled after 3 seasons? Well, I tried Hannibal really early on, and I thought it was really good. But there was a problem with it. I didn't really care much for the characters, and that was the thing. I didn't really feel a really strong attachment to the characters. So I can see why the show's being canceled after a few seasons, because I don't think it really ever did that well. I don't know how it was past the first couple episodes, because that's kind of where I stopped watching. But I know it was really high quality, but I don't know about the story and how well it was able to grab people in terms of them, as viewers, and how much they cared about the characters. So that's the big problem, right? You have to be able to get people to care about the characters. Otherwise, they're not going to stick it. They're not going to stick around for the long haul. Plus, I don't know how long you can pull a show like that out for and keep going and keep going. We're seeing that with Under the Dome this year. I think it's the last season because it's going to be premiering soon, but it's been drawn on for a while. Cool. And the last one will be from Survivor 13, and I think it's a she, says, Fear the Walking Dead Q&A. Hey, Trev, even though Fear the Walking Dead is supposed to be its own show and be different, it is in the same universe as The Walking Dead. With that said, are there any traits from The Walking Dead that you think they should incorporate into Fear the Walking Dead? Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's going to be, even from the feel of the trailer, it's going to be a lot different. Even the sound and everything, and it looks like it's going to be totally different. So I do like kind of the theme song and kind of the style of the intros and everything for the regular Walking Dead, but this is something totally different. So, any traits? I would say, if they stick to the same kind of formula where you're not able to predict what's going to happen, and you see some surprising character deaths all the way through, and they keep you on the edge of your seat, they keep you excited, and they kind of choose maybe a metal city type Cobalt, like the initial title was, kind of theme in that with some good music, it could be something really cool on its own right. But it's going to be the same general theme. So I think they should try to kind of stay as far away as they can from the initial series to really separate it. Because we're all going to be buying it anyway, and we don't really want to see a copycat. We want to see something original, and that's kind of what we want. At least what I want, because I'm not a big fan of copycats. Anyway, so except Z Nation is pretty good, although it's not necessarily just a copycat of The Walking Dead. It's actually pretty fun and pretty well done, and a lot different. It doesn't take itself seriously and stuff like that, like The Walking Dead does. At least most of the time, it doesn't. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about all of those. In particular, Rick versus Morgan, do you think that's what we're going to see? I don't. Check out the forum if you like. Maybe start up a convo there. Sign up for an account, deadreviews.com. And thank you guys for watching. As always, if you like the video, please thumb it up low. If you want to help support the channel, please share it. Please favorite it. And if you're new and you want to subscribe at the bottom left, go ahead and subscribe. Check out the site. And that's it for this one, guys. We'll see you again real soon. As always, it's Trev. Saying peace.